All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So it has been a monster few days, and as much as I normally like to wait till Thursday, we gotta talk about these AI stocks. There is so much good going on right here. I'm for sure gonna quickly flash the NASDAQ because look, end of the day, NASDAQ doing well is really important for these, and I mean, I say it often, the 200 moving average is king, all right? You either lose it and die, or it should be this monstrous bounce point that we definitely see here. All right, so before we go any further into the details, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We're going to take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how this thing is setting up short term. We've got our 5 moving averages, these horizontal support and resistance lines, as well as this trend line that I do draw manually myself. And then when we're done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment anything, good or bad, share this video all over the place. Look, anything you can do really does help, but I swear, just giving me your time is super appreciated, all right? And look, I'm not perfect, I'm not all-knowing, but hey, if you've got better opinions than me, I would actually love to hear them, all right? So look, let's get into it. And again, there's a few very like simple technical things that I'd see just jumping out that you're going to hear me talk about often. All right. Day after the doji, boom, very telling of what the truth is, right? Because we break the moving average. We do not confirm well, but this is a doji. All right. It's not like textbook like this, right? But that's enough for me to say, okay, next day, right? And I mean, 14% monster break, breaking our 2584, right? I mean, we're now sitting in a like, just look, green, red, green, green, red, hopefully. And then from there, green, red, hopefully, green. Like, there's a lot of reason to think this thing's going to want to come to 34. And hey, for sure, we're at a pretty high RSI, right? I have to call out the 80. It wasn't too long ago that we at least hit 86. So maybe there's a little bit of juice. And then day before was still in 83. So it's at least sat in the 80s. All right. It wasn't even that long ago that it was like literally hovering around that 100 line, right? And just living in the 80s and 90s, right? Like you can just see that box full of 80s and 90s until about here, right? So there was a solid, we'll call it 3-week window, right? So, we're coming into some really sexy channels, to say the least, right? Between these two and between these two. And let's just flash it real quick, all right? NASDAQ Composite's kicking ass, all right? We've now broken my 1225. We've now confirmed pretty well. Again, 1% doesn't seem like much, but that's a monster candle, right? And look, where are we at? Red, green, red. Hopefully just green, real quick uprise to 13. All right. And yeah, if that happens, oh man, tech can go silly. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much what we're watching. And hopefully that is what's happening, right? But yeah, MACD is now in the positive. Again, like I said, RSI, it might need to cool down, but it might also go back to the 80s and 90s, right? And volume starting to picking up a little bit. All right, it's hopefully going to hold, right? That's going to be really important. But yeah, volume picks up. That's going to be key, right? Because let's just be honest, it was the whole time, aside from this monster sell-off, right? But the whole time this sector was quiet, the volume dies, right? I think when we were going horizontal here for a while, we were very much under the line. When we were just kind of dropping, again, aside from this like sell-off hard, it was just very much under the 50. Volume spikes are what move this thing silly, right? And if volume keeps coming, we'll see what happens here. So AI looking good on the daily, very important place on the weekly, right? If we can smash, and again, we just kind of talked about the same thing on a different stock. One of the viewer requests that I just did, right? But look, I mean, first off, there is no 200 moving average, right? So you break the 100 and you confirm, you're now over all the moving averages, right? And I mean, yeah, we've done it once, couldn't confirm. We've now done 3 moving averages, assuming that this is where we close on Friday, right? So can you imagine the kind of, like, I would be expecting to close at like $30 by next Friday if this holds, you know what I mean? So really interesting stuff definitely going on AI right now, just to say the least, right? So beautiful. Let's look at Palantir. We did move it into this section, and again, you can see why, right? There was for sure reasons why I was not liking this stock, all right? For sure, for sure. And it definitely gets thrown out of the cluster a little bit, but look, again, I don't care what you thought about the earnings. You shouldn't care what I thought about the earnings, all right? What matters is the market reaction to the earnings was great. We get a nice little healthy cool off. We use the 8 moving average as our bounce point, and yeah, that's what bouncing looks like, right? So yeah, this is beautiful to say the least. It looks like we actually broke. Yeah, we did. We broke this day, right? So really, it seems like this bad boy should be coming to 1060. And in all honesty, 1060 doesn't even look like it's going to be that hard of a line, and it just might even run to 1145, give or take, right? So I can see this 1060. Okay, 50% candle, a little bit of something there. Maybe it does something, but yeah, Palantir. Again, look, it's less about what you and I thought about the market earnings. It's more about what the market thought of earnings. I used the word market incorrectly right there. But yeah, look, textbook, right? Beautiful. You're going to cool off a little bit, bounce and go, right? MACD still looking good. RSI trying to peak actually a little bit. I don't know if we get a little bit more volume tomorrow and this thing actually might keep running. So gotta love what we see here. I mean, there's not too much I got to talk about, right? Like this is textbook, right? It's a lovely thing. Weekly, where's the weekly at? Look, we break 3 moving averages. We are definitely confirming well, right? So in a lot of ways, this thing is definitely actually kind of saying, hey, maybe I'm going to want to go 1325, right? Because we've now taken this, we've now taken this. It looks like we've now taken this. 100 should be the next place we want to go, right? So a couple lines in between, right? But yeah, if 10 breaks, if 11 breaks, it really could be a fast climb to the 13, 14 range. So gotta love what we're seeing here. So fantastic, actually. NVDA, it destroys the 280 line. It is now pretty much kissing that next line up, right? It's just as NASDAQ does well, our tech stocks are going to do well. I personally believe AI is still the king, so hopefully these things are back to moving the way that they were not too long ago, right? But literally, I said it, right? Once this thing can get over 280, it should want to fly. And I mean, so far it looks like it, because this was an important peak to get over. And we've now gotten over this peak. In all honesty, it's just a game of, can we get to this peak? We'll see what happens. We're almost there. If we can break it, yeah. Can we get to this peak? If we can break it, you know, I'm going to start. If we break it, are we in all-time highs? Yeah, baby. I love it. If we break 333, NVIDIA goes into all-time high. And I'm telling you, all-time highs is where you want your money at, right? So sexy. Look, I know it's only a 6% week when we were seeing other ones having, I think AI had a 33% week, if I remember seeing that correctly, but sexy, I'm telling you, right? Like, it's not always about home runs. If you can literally just keep hitting singles and doubles, singles and doubles, singles and doubles, singles and doubles, yeah, you'll do yourself really, really well, right? And that is what NVIDIA is here for, right? It's not going to try to hit these massive homers that are going to get caught, right? Like, it's just going to get on base, do its thing, get on base, and do its thing, right? So loving all 3 of these, all right? Very, very much. So let me know your thoughts and opinions. Otherwise, hey, I very much appreciate your time. Thank you.